grandmother of Quinton Simon believes the missing toddler accidentally drowned in a bathtub because her daughter and boyfriend were passed out on drugs, the DailyMail.com can reveal. Billie Jo Howell, 45, shared her theory on the case and much more in a bombshell conversation on Saturday with the child's biological father, Henry Bubba Moss. Her daughter, Leilani Simon, 22, has been named the main suspect in the disappearance of her 20-month-old son, Quinton, who vanished from his Savannah, Georgia home on October 5th. In an audio of an 11-minute phone call obtained by DailyMail.com, Billie Jo can be heard saying, "I feel honestly and frankly, Bubba, I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like there was an accident. I feel like something happened while Quinton was in the bathtub and he drowned and they were both high. That's my theory. Hell, they should have just called the police if something like that happened," Bubba replied. "If you're high as hell, man, you do stupid shit," said Billie Jo. Billie Jo said police, meanwhile, have shared their own suspicion that Leilani, the boy's mother, blacked out that morning. "The police are the ones saying that she went into a traumatic state and blacked out," she told Bubba in the call. "It's not her saying she don't remember. That's what police told her, and that's what they told me." Billie Jo was away when her 20-month-old grandson vanished from their home in Savannah early October 5th. According to police, Leilani's boyfriend, Danny Youngkin, was the last one to see him around 6 a.m. It wasn't until after 9 a.m. that his mother reported him missing. Police suspect Quinton's body was placed in a dumpster, and investigators have been searching for the body in a nearby landfill. Leilani is the prime suspect in the disappearance and presumed death of the 20-month-old, but police are yet to make an arrest. Child Protective Services also removed her 2 other children from her custody on October 12th. On Monday, Simon spoke out, claiming she has now become a prisoner in her own home after being suspected of being involved in her son's disappearance. The young mother told WTOC in a teary interview how she had to barricade herself in her yard to hide from protesters, with some even leaving signs like "baby killer" on a memorial she set up outside for her son. "I'm here. I've been here every day since this. I'm not running and I'm not hiding," she told the local news station. "And if something does come up that I'm at fault, I will take myself to the police station." She went on to slam protesters who have been gathering outside her home, saying, "It makes it hard to even process what's going on around us. I can't even walk outside and appreciate my own son's memorial or put down gifts that I got for him," she continued. In their phone conversation, Bubba asked Billie Jo, who has legal custody of Quinton and his older brother, why police are so confident he was dumped. "They're saying they've got video," she replied. "Nobody's seen the video." Both she and Bubba were wondering why Danny wasn't also named a suspect, expressing anger that he has since left town. The rumor was he was staying with family in Atlanta, but Billie Jo said he was actually in North Carolina. "He lied about going to Atlanta," she said. "He's not in Atlanta. He's in Dunn, North Carolina. I'm trying to expose him right now online the best I can." The grandmother has spent much of the last couple of weeks holed up at home with her daughter, Leilani, her husband, and other family and friends who have come to support them. She told Bubba that she feels like a prisoner in her own house as the police investigation enters its 3rd week, but she said the fact investigators haven't made an arrest suggests their case is weak. "I feel like the FBI is putting a lot of heat on all of us as a family, including you," she says. "And they're doing it on purpose, like they want to break us all down, like there's something we will run up there and tell them." She was also skeptical that the FBI will be able to find Quinton's body in the landfill. "You've got to figure there's a lot of trucks that go out there and dump," she said, "and it was a week before they decided that was where they was going to go. So that's a lot of trucks all week." Bubba shared his own news, informing Billie Jo that the FBI tested his DNA to confirm that he's Quinton's biological father. He told DailyMail.com earlier in the day that police confronted him shortly after Quinton's disappearance, after Leilani falsely accused him of snatching the child. In speaking with Billie Jo, Bubba didn't talk about that. He was fishing for information on the case and let her do most of the talking. "People hate me," she said in despair. Billie Jo said she was away when Quinton went missing and that she had no idea that the children were in danger. "I promise you I would have never, ever, ever left them babies in a situation that was bad for them," she told the boy's father. "I knew Leilani and Danny were having their problems, but I didn't really see it affecting the kids," she continued. She said the stress has been wearing her down, and the noise of protesters gathering outside her house, honking horns and yelling baby killers into the night has made life even more unbearable. She explained that she tried to escape the noise early last week by traveling to Tybee Island, a nearby vacation resort. She, Leilani, and a few friends checked into a motel, then went out drinking at a bar. There was media reports of them downing shots of Patron while smiling on the same day the FBI began searching for little Quinton in the landfill. Billie Jo was mortified when the news got out, telling Bubba that they should have just stayed at the motel rather than go out drinking at Stingray's. We left from here, Savannah, because of the protesters, she said. It got so bad. My friends from out of town that come down here to support me, they stayed close to me for 2 days and then decided to get a room at the beach for 2 days. And we went down there. And I told them, I don't think it's a good idea that we go out in public with you all. I think it's better we stay here at the motel room. And they're like, what? You can't go have dinner? She continued. Now, I rationalized in my head, yeah, why can't we go have dinner? You know what I mean? And the next thing you know, we were partying and screaming and hollering. And that's not the case, she said. Leilani didn't even drink. Now, I drank both drinks that was ordered for Leilani. I drank a friend's drink and I drank mine. So I was messed up. And then, of course, I went and laid on the beach and just cried, she said. But they didn't play that part, you know. At one point in the conversation, Bubba asked how Leilani was faring, and Billie Jo replied that she's doing the best she can. Leilani's been trying to keep her mind busy with doing a lot of recovery stuff, she said. Leilani, who has a history of abusing drugs, is starting a rehab program this week, she pointed out. She's also receiving counseling through a city program called Hugs. She's got a lot of different stuff going on with that, she said. The bad thing is, I'm asking, hey, what can I do? She said she's desperate to regain a sense of normalcy. It's been really hard, she confided to Bubba, and the protesters and stuff like that out there, we can't even process what our next move needs to be and what we need. I'm trying to figure out if it's a good idea that I go back to work, she added, and I need to go back to work. The last thing I want to do is to bring this kind of attention to a job site. I won't have a job long. And now nobody can go anywhere by ourselves, she continued. Everybody has to have a riding partner. You can't leave. The only time Leilani can leave is when we sneak her out for appointments that she has. They kept returning to the subject of drugs and how that may have played a role in Quinton's disappearance. You're a different person when you do drugs, Billie Jo said. I'm not defending her, you know what I mean? But I know I'm not the same person on drugs. Actually, if I'm on drugs, you all ain't going to see Billie nowhere because Billie got to go hide with the addicts. I can't go to work. I can't look at people in the face. I can't. I gotta go. I gotta go MIA. But that's how I do. Well, I feel like if it was an accident, they should have just called the police, Bubba responded. I agree, Billie Jo said. Billie Jo continued to vent about feeling trapped. The police told me that, a matter of fact, they told me if I feel like I needed to get away, I needed to leave and go somewhere, that Leilani needs to stay here, she said. At one point, Billie Jo seems to address a comment to both Bubba and Leilani, who may have been listening. I don't mean this in no kind of way, Leilani, but who don't leave their own house, Billie Jo said. You know what I mean? That's how you would feel if we was in different shoes. Who don't leave their own house? As the conversation winded down, Billie Jo offered Quinton's father some love. I don't know, baby, but I know no matter what, you're in my family and you're in my heart, she told him. Yeah, I just wanted to know if y'all heard anything else, Bubba replied. I don't know. As soon as I do, honey, you'll be one of the first ones I call, she said. It was late afternoon and Bubba, standing outside his home in Girard, Georgia, a rural town 85 miles from Savannah, was preparing to head out for the season's first day of deer hunting. All right, well, I'm fitting to go deer hunting, so I guess I'll talk to you later, he told Billie Jo. All right, I love you, she replied. All right, he said, love you. Before he could hang up, she half joked, bring us some deer meat now. You know we can't leave the house. All right, he said, and she replied, we prisoners.
I feel strongly about that. I feel, honestly and truthfully, Bubba, I ain't gonna lie to you, I feel like there was an accident. I feel like something happened while Quinton was in the bathtub and he drowned and they were both high. That's my theory.
Well, hell, they should just call the police if something like that happened.
If you're high as hell, man, you do stupid shit. Even yourself, you're a different person whenever you defend her. Because I'm not defending her. You know what I mean? But I know I'm not the same person on drugs.
We are now 3 weeks into our search for Quinton Simon, and finding him remains the top priority for the Chatham County Police Department. We are committed to giving Quinton the professional, detailed, and thorough investigation that he deserves. Thanks to the expertise of the FBI, who was on the ground with us within 3 hours of Quinton being reported missing, we have had the advantage of using every investigative and technological tool available. No expense has been spared. No work has been deemed too much or too difficult to undertake. The exhaustive search of the landfill where we believe Quinton's remains are located continues. As we told you last week, this is not a quick process. At the same time, our investigative case team is working diligently to put together every piece of evidence to determine the facts in this case. The search for Quinton has been the most massive undertaking ever for our department and has involved the work of well over 100 law enforcement and civilian personnel. We would like to thank the following agencies for their service with manpower, expertise, and equipment during the last 3 weeks. FBI, GBI, Chatham County Sheriff's Office, Savannah Police Department, Liberty County Sheriff's Office, Chatham Emergency Management Agency, Chatham Emergency Services, Savannah Fire Department, Chatham County Parks and Recreation, Chatham County Occupational Safety and Waste Management.